Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm the Youth and Families Worker here at Litchard Mission, and every Saturday I'm making little craft videos for you guys to do at home. So they are based on what we're looking at on Fridays in our resource called Table Talk, which you can find on our website. And over the last few weeks we've been looking at the Hebrews Hall of Faith in Hebrews 11. So let's recap what we've done so far, because we're making a little book, so each week we're making a new page for our book. So we started off by making our front cover with the Hebrews 1 to 2 meaning of faith written on the back. Then we looked at Abel, Adam and Eve's son, and then we looked at Enoch, Noah, Abraham and the promises God made to Abraham, Abraham's wife Sarah and the faith she had to have to believe in God to keep his promises. We looked at Joseph, the faith of Moses' parents, and then last week we looked at the faith of Moses himself. And so this week we are moving on to Hebrews 11 verse 30. So if you get your Bible and we head to the New Testament, which is the second half of the Bible, and we look for the book called Hebrews, and then we look for the big number 11, and then we need to find the little number 30, which tells us we're reading verse 30. So here it is in my Bible, and it says this: "It was by faith that the walls of Jericho fell. They fell after the people had marched around the walls of Jericho for 7 days." So today we are going to be learning about the walls of Jericho falling down, and about the leader of the Israelites at the time, who is a man called Joshua. So we can read more about Joshua in the Old Testament in the book of, you guessed it, Joshua. So in Joshua 5 we read about this happening, about the walls of Jericho falling. So Moses had died and now Joshua was the leader of the Israelites. And just like God promised, he's taken his people into the promised land. But when they get there, the promised land is filled of these really, really big cities and kingdoms with big castle walls around them. And they don't know how they're going to defeat these people that live there so that they can have the land that God has promised them. And Jericho is the first of these big places they come to. But they don't fear this time, they have faith. And God comes and he speaks to Joshua and he says, "You and your soldiers with the priests in the front blowing trumpets should walk around the city 6 times. You might be thinking, well, what good's that gonna do? You need to fight people if you're going to claim their cities. So walking around the city seems like a bit of an odd thing to do. And then God says, and on the 7th day, walk around the city again, blowing your trumpets. And when you've walked around the whole city, the whole of the Israelites are to make a really, really, really big noise." And again, this doesn't seem like a logical thing to do. You don't really see how walking around a city for 7 days and then making a really loud noise is going to defeat that city. But Joshua and all of the Israelites have faith in God, and so they follow his instructions, they obey him. So they walk around the city 6 times with the priests at the front blowing the trumpets. And I just think the people in Jericho must have thought, well, what's going on? These guys are meant to be here to fight us and they're just walking around our city. They must have been really confused. And then on the 7th day, they walk around again. And then when they finish, they blow the trumpets and everyone makes a really, really, really loud noise. And the walls of the city fall down. God causes the walls of the city to fall down, and the Israelites defeat Jericho and can claim it for themselves, just like God promised. So even though God asked them to do something that they didn't really understand, Joshua and all of the Israelites had faith in God. And because they had faith in God and followed his instructions, because they had faith in him and they obeyed him, it happened just like God said it would, and the walls of Jericho fell down. So this is today's craft, and we're looking at Joshua, obviously. And on the back we've got this, so it looks kind of boring, it's just a plain wall. But it says at the top, "It was by faith that the walls of Jericho fell. They fell after the people marched around the walls of Jericho for 7 days, Hebrews 11:30. And then when we lift this down, we can see the trumpets, and we can see the walls of Jericho starting to fall down. So that's this week's craft, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how to make it. So as per usual, the first thing you want to do is go to our website, which is up on the screen now, where you can find this week's table talk and the craft PDF, or the craft template for this week. And once you've downloaded that and printed it out or drawn your own version, you want to colour it in, and then you'll have two pieces of paper that look like this. So we have Joshua here, and then we have a wall, and then on this side we have our main page where we have the wall falling down, today's Bible verse, and the picture frame for Joshua with the Bible verse reference there. So the first thing we're going to do is cut these two pictures out. So we're going to cut along here and then just kind of cut around Joshua. So here we have Joshua cut out and the wall. So the first thing we're going to do is stick Joshua into the picture frame. So Joshua is a teeny tiny bit bigger than the picture frame this week, just because I mismeasured it ever so slightly. But you just need to put some glue or some double-sided sticky tape on the back of Joshua. I'm going to use double-sided sticky tape. So we're just going to put some down like that. Peel off this back bit. And then stick him into the centre bit of the frame, like that. So we can see clearly who we're learning about this week. And then on this side, we're going to take the wall, and we are going to hide the part where the wall falls down. So we're going to place it kind of here, and we're going to fold it down like this so that we know where we kind of want to be sticking it. So now this part, which we folded, we are going to put some glue on or some double-sided sticky tape, like so. And then we're going to stick it back in the centre, so it's covering up where the bricks are falling down. And then we can read the Bible verse that it was by faith that the walls of Jericho fell. They fell after the people marched around the walls of Jericho for 7 days. Hebrews 11 verse 30. And then when we peel back the wall, we can see the walls of Jericho falling down and the trumpets the Israelites sounded at the bottom there. So the last thing we need to do is make this all into one page. So we are going to fold this in half. So I folded mine earlier, like that. And then we're going to open it up again and put glue all over one side of the page, like this. So again, I'm just going to quickly use some double-sided sticky tape. And we'll put some more down here. Oops. There we go. And we'll peel this one off the top as well. And then the one off the bottom, last but not least. And then we refold it and stick it down so that now it is all one page. So we see Joshua, a picture of Joshua, and the Bible verse on the front. And then when we turn over the page, we'll learn about the fact that it was by faith that the walls of Jericho fell. They fell after the people marched around the walls of Jericho for 7 days. Hebrews 11 verse 30. And there we have the walls of Jericho falling down. So that's the end of this week's craft, and I'll be back soon with some more crafts all about the Hebrews Hall of Faith. Bye!